I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in the next few weeks, but I want to sort of get us thinking about this. We are now past the point of no return with coronavirus in terms of the timing of the election. Let me explain what I mean by that. It takes somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 weeks to flatten the case curve if you lock down today, right? Which means that if Florida, Arizona, these states that are imploding, if they did a full lockdown today, you would probably not see the effect of that. You wouldn't see the cases come under control until October 1st. But in addition to that, deaths lag by 20 days. So if we saw a lockdown today, you wouldn't really see some of these states get the outbreak under control until late October. Okay. So when you know that, when you see 15,000 cases a day in Florida, death records in Florida, the timeline of how the virus works, we saw it in New York. We know how long it takes. It means that there will be a huge coronavirus problem in some of these key states, including Florida, which will be so important for the November election. It's going to be going on in mid-October, in the best case scenario. And that's if states lock down. They don't even seem interested in locking down. What that tells us is Trump can't rely on winning in November because the virus is under control. Just mathematically, it's not going to happen. This means they only have dirty tricks left. And Andy Kroll wrote a really good article in Rolling Stone outlining the techniques that Republicans and Trump are going to use to try to win. One technique is going to be using lawsuits to wreak havoc. In February, the Trump campaign, as Andy Kroll writes, and the Republican National Committee announced they were going to spend $10 million filing voting-related lawsuits in 2020. In Pennsylvania, for example, they sued the state government of Pennsylvania and election boards in every county to ban the use of secure drop boxes for submitting take-home ballots. And they said that poll watchers can only serve in the county where they live, which is a great way to, if you have a county without a highly engaged population, you would want to bring in poll watchers from other counties. That won't be allowed. It's a great way to allow intimidation at the ballot box. They're going to be working to block ballots, including ballots submitted by mail. They're going to be working on intimidating voters. They will be spreading disinformation. They're going to be working to prevent absentee ballot expansions altogether, and we've seen Donald Trump doing that for months already. They're going to use bogus fears of voter fraud to justify whatever they can get away with. So none of these techniques are new. But the point is, they don't have anymore the idea of, hey, you know what? Our strategy will be, we'll do a little voter suppression because we always do it, but we'll also make a case that we have dealt with the virus and we fixed the economy. Trump sort of still continues to claim that he's dealing with the virus well, but the math of it shows a different reality. And the cases are going to be raging for 8 to 10 weeks in the best case scenario in some of these states. So all they have left are the dirty tricks. I'm going to be doing much more extensive coverage of this. And my goal is we all need to be prepared for what they are likely to do. We need to expect what they are going to do. We need to have a plan to fight it. We are going to be talking about how you can get involved as an election monitor. I mean, there are things, depending on state laws, that you can actually do and get involved in. But this has to be our focus now because they're out of actual policy arguments. Trump hasn't even talked about policy in any way for weeks other than saying, we're going to do more of the great stuff in the second term that I did in the first term, even though it didn't really happen in the first term. And in any case, it's the fault of the coronavirus or Democrats or Obama or who Jimmy Carter. I mean, he'll blame anybody, right? All they have left are dirty tricks, and that's why this is so important. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at @Pakman for the latest updates on all of this. We're going to take a quick break, and it's just a beautiful Friday show for you today.